At the end of 2024, I remember being super excited for 2025 because it was going to be my first year without school, like ever at all, because I graduated in 2024 and I decided to take a gap year. I'm on gap year number 2. I probably will take 2 more gap years, honestly. I was very excited for 2025. And honestly, it's been very rewarding because as a young performer, somebody who has goals of becoming a professional singer, work in theater, work as a dancer, I think 2025 was a really great year for setting up those building blocks because this year I got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 professional contracts. And I was hired to work in a band. I'm simply gagged. I'm simply just so excited. I can't believe that in 1 year since high school I was able to accomplish these things without going to school for it, because I know people who have gone to school for musical theater, school for acting, and they haven't really been able to work professionally. And when you work in theater, it's actually very, very difficult to get started working as an actor because there's things like unions and being a part of the union in the first place, that's what's going to get your foot in the door. And when you're not a part of a union, it's like, okay, what do I do? Because if I submit to audition, are they even going to ask me to audition if I'm not part of a union? So this week's episode of Gap Year Diaries is me giving you the building blocks to start working professionally in the performing arts. I want to help you start working professionally in theater. It's really hard to get your foot in the door, but it's possible. It's entirely possible because since May or June of 2025, I have been working professionally in the theater and music space, and I intend to continue to do that in 2026. And so, I'm so excited. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to Gap Year Diaries. My name is Tula, and I am your local lover girl. I'm your host, and yeah, let's just jump right into it because I'm very passionate about the performing arts, and it's my dream to work professionally in music and dance. I love the theater. It's my first love. So to work professionally in this industry, these are just I have 5 simple building blocks to get started and to get the ball rolling and to start getting your name considered and to start getting hired in performing arts and in the theater and music space, because in 2025 I got my first contracts to work professionally and be paid to perform and to create art for theater and for music ever. So let's jump right into it. I should just mention that I am not an expert. I did not go to school for this. So this is all based on my experience, but I think that what I can say can really help you out when you start working professionally, because these are things I've learned from other professionals in the industry, and these are things I've learned from people who have gone to school, and my community and my network, they have taught me so many things that I haven't really needed to go to school to learn these certain things when I had this community. So your first building block is going to be your craft. Simply put, if you want to be considered in the first place, you have to be confident and good at what you're doing. So I've been a singer since I was 11 years old. I've been training vocally since I was 11. I've been trained in classical music, in musical theater, in pop, in opera. I am a very well-rounded vocalist. I've been at this for 8 years doing vocal festivals, doing auditions, doing theater. I've been doing community theater since I was 10 years old. I used to do little church musicals every spring from when I was 7 to when I was 13. I have been at this for a long time. And over the years, I've been able to refine my craft. I've learned what songs and what type of music works best with my voice, like what voice type I am. I have learned and I've refined and I've figured out like what it is I actually enjoy doing as well in the first place. In high school, I was constantly trying to explore new facets and areas of theater because I didn't want to just be an actor. I wanted to explore technical theater. I wanted to know how to do lighting. I want to know how to do design. I wanted to know how to direct. I wanted to know how to just do so many things and pick up information and just simply learn and be able to execute so many different things so that I would be able to be hired to do more things in the first place. Because my first professional job, it wasn't as a performer, it was as a makeup designer. And I learned about makeup design and I learned about visual design and theater design from doing it in high school and from doing tech theater classes and not just taking a drama. So my first piece of advice would be to really expand your education, expand your knowledge, be open to learning so many different things. There is this one artistic director at a theater I frequent at, and the artistic director or producer, whatever, he directs, he acts, he sings, he's an amazing lighting designer, he's a set designer, I believe he's done sound design. He is so well-rounded in so many different ways, and that really inspired me to make myself a well-rounded artist so that I would be able to do more things, so I would be hired to do more work. Refine your craft, practice. Oh my gosh, practice makes perfect. Do community theater. I mean, community theater is unpaid, but you still get to learn so much. You broaden your community, you broaden your network, you get to do a show at the end of the day, and you learn about teamwork, you learn about adaptability and creative contribution. Same goes with dance. If you are part of like a dance education, you learn how to choreograph, like literally do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to refine your craft. Because at the end of the day, it's your craft that gets you through the door. It's your craft that gets you that audition and what gets you hired. Because if you are going to step into an audition for a musical, for an opera, for example, and you don't know how to sing, you're not going to get hired. So it's these things. It's your craft. You have to train and act as if you are a professional before you get hired and work as a professional. You don't have to be paid to take your craft seriously. I used to be like the worst practicer in the world. I used to like do ballet exams and I would never practice for my ballet exams. And I've done vocal exams and I've done vocal festivals. And it wasn't until I started like actually winning and getting first place that I wanted to practice more and refine my craft and my vocal skill even more so that I could win more. And that kind of like tricked my mind into acting like a professional. It got me to practice. I wanted to win and I wanted to be invited to things like provincial festivals and national festivals and be able to win big scholarships by practicing. Simply put, it's your craft. But to add on to that, no one's going to hire you for your craft if you do not have proof. So your proof is your portfolio, your proof is your resume, your proof is your reels. I'd say these are like the three main kinds of proof that you have. Every audition you ever submit to is going to ask for your headshot and resume, but where you can put your portfolio and your reels is on a website. So I would also recommend creating a website for yourself. That is my goal for 2026. I'm going to make a website with my reels, with my portfolio, with my resume on it, because I want to show my hair and makeup abilities, I want to show my vocal ability, I want to show my dance ability, and then I want to have something that shows my experience and my skill and just some extra things I can do. Your proof is super, super, super important. I remember this very vividly. In like March or April of 2025, I spent literally 1 hour, making my hair and makeup portfolio because I wanted to apply to design the hair and makeup for a production of Chicago in the summer. I spent 1 hour making this portfolio. I put in the shows that I had done hair and makeup design for in high school. I had done one community theater production, like completely volunteered, designing the hair and makeup. And that portfolio, that application for one musical got me offers for 3. And as of the end of 2026, I designed the makeup for Chicago, and I've also designed the makeup for Miracle on 34th Street, the musical. And then in the spring, I will be the makeup assistant for Shrek the musical. I super strongly believe that it was my portfolio that really pushed it over the edge because, it was just a portfolio I made in Canva. It took me an hour, and there was just photos upon photos upon photos. These were just the production photos that you would see on a website or on Instagram. And I put in these photos onto my portfolio, and I was like, these are the looks I designed. These are the characters. Hire me. But it worked. It worked because, I applied for one show and I was offered 3 contracts. And I was just simply so excited for that. I was also, that same day, I was offered another contract for a volunteer show, which I also designed the hair and makeup for. Sadly, I had to drop out, but I still got to keep my designs. They still used my designs in their show. I still got the credit. Yeah, your proof is super important. Make a vocal reel. If you're a singer, literally just do a little setup. Do what I'm doing right now. Microphone, camera, bada bing, bada boom, sing. Or if you do little concerts or open mics, people love that. People want to see you loving what you do. People want to see you perform. Producers, casting directors, they want to see you in your element. They want to see what you can do. And when they see a video of it and they see a little performance reel, it's going to make them more inclined to hire you because they can see what you can do. And then they can visualize and envision you in their future roles. There's this one director who I've never worked with. I think I did one concert with him. And he reached out to me and was like, I don't know if you are planning to be in the city next season, but I'm submitting this show and I'm directing it, and there's a role I think you would be perfect for, and I'm not pre-casting, but I think I would love it if you would audition. And I was like, me? Little me? Thank you. But yeah, your proof is important. Your proof is your proof. It's your evidence. It's what people see before they see you do your audition. So that goes on to building block number 2. Building block number 2 is connection. Many directors, many casting directors, they are going to hire the people that they know. They are going to hire, simply put, their friends. There's this one show that their cast was announced recently, and the choreographer's wife got the lead. Are we surprised? She's an excellent performer, so of course I don't blame her. She's gonna kill that role. But are we surprised? Not really. So people are going to hire other people that they know they trust, can work hard, or that they've heard of. And so one of the big jobs I was hired for this year, which is the band I was hired to join, that came through my network and by knowing the person who runs it. And obviously things are going to take time because I reached out to this band director a year before I was hired. I reached out to him, I think June 2024, because I wanted a summer job. And what better summer job to have than singing all the time? Love. But it wasn't until a year later, it wasn't until August 2025 or July 2025 that I was actually hired. We had an interview, he hired me, I signed an NDA, bada bing, bada boom, I am hired. I'm part of this band now. And I actually didn't have my first performance until last week. I have a performance today, actually. But I didn't have my first performance until December 2025. It all takes time, but when you make yourself known and when you make yourself interested, by simply reaching out to a director or a musical director or a choreographer, by simply reaching out to them and saying, hi, I would love to be a part of this production. Can you give me any information on how to audition? I would love to audition for you. I wouldn't say reach out to them and be like, I want to work for you, please hire me. Just say, I would love to audition for you. Your vocabulary and the way you word things and the way you phrase things really matters when you are submitting and expressing your interest for certain jobs. Because what people will remember is your initiative. People will remember your work ethic. People will remember how you treated them and how you talked to them. And people will remember your talent. One of my goals for 2026, there is this massive show in the summer in the city I'm from, and it's called the Grandstand Show, and it's marketed as the greatest outdoor show on earth. And I know a lot of musicians and a lot of dancers who've been part of that show. And I want to sing in it. Like at the beginning of December, I was like, I want to sing at the Grandstand Show. And I was talking to some other people who were in the business and in the industry and who were dancers with the Grandstand in previous years, and they were like, oh my gosh, reach out to this person, reach out to this person, reach out to the music director, reach out to the artistic director. And I, luckily, have worked with the music director of the Grandstand Show, and so I reached out to him on Instagram, and I was simply saying, hi, I would love to audition for you to be in the Grandstand. When are you guys having auditions? How does the process work? Like, I would really love to be a part of this, and I would really love to sing in the show. And he responded, and he was like, we're still in the process of like figuring out the vision for the show and what songs will fit the best. But in the meantime, send me any videos you have of you singing like pop, rock, country. And so I did that. I sent a video of me singing Ironic by Alanis Morissette, and I haven't heard back, but maybe in January, February time, I'll reach out again and I'll be like, hey, are there any updates? Any audition times? Can I send you like a video, like a self-tape? Like, please? And over time, people will remember that you expressed interest. If there are directors who are looking for performers, the ones that are going to come to mind are the ones who expressed interest and the ones who they know can perform and the ones that they have seen perform before. And this music director, for me, I met him when I was 13 years old, and he was one of the directors of this performance company I did a show with, and he wasn't there for like over half the production because he was busy touring, doing the like North American tour of We Will Rock You the musical. Like, that's how professional this guy is. And I was like, oh, I would love to sing for you. But yeah, we've worked together, we've met each other before. Your network is literally everything. I've learned over time that like the performing arts community, especially in the city where I'm from, it is small. Like, every show that gets announced, like anywhere, community theater, professional theater, like any show that gets announced, I can guarantee you I know one person in that show. I can guarantee you I know the stage manager. I can guarantee you I have seen them perform before, and I can guarantee you that we met when we were kids, like when I was like 13 and they were 17, and now they're working professionally, and we met at an audition when we were kids. Like, the world is small. It's actually kind of crazy because somehow this band job that I'm working with is so interconnected with this dance program I'm going to be doing in the spring. Like, literally, the world is small. So treat people with kindness. Always be excited to work and perform. Like, you do it because you love it, right? Like, why else do performers perform? You'll never know who is casting. You'll never know who is hiring. You'll never know who is looking for collaborators. And when you express your interest, you come to the forefront of their mind when they're looking for people. That is building block number 2, your connection and your network. Literally, so helpful. So helpful. Your third building block is your initiative. So, unless you share with your director or whoever you're working with that you would like to be paid, you're not really going to be paid unless it's made clear that it is a paid production and that it's professional and you will get paid no matter what. But there are some productions, there are lots of like theater companies and dance companies like around the city, around wherever you are, that pay a portion of their actors and then they don't pay another portion of their actors. Say it's like a community theater production and they pay like their leads and then they don't pay their ensemble, because that's very real. But by expressing to your director, to your casting director, your producer, whoever, by expressing to them that you would like to be paid and that there is reason for you to get paid, there's a very high chance that you will be paid for your work. I was in a production in the fall. It was a dance show. The audition was in June, and I think I was offered the role in July, August. Actually, no, I think I was technically offered a spot in the show the day of the audition. He was like, really like what you have to offer, and yeah, we would love to have you as part of the show. And I was like, yay, I accept. When I got the email officially inviting me to be a part of the show, the director told me that he didn't realize I was also a singer, and so he offered me the role to be a dancer and a singer. And I told him, gladly, I will gladly sing at your show. However, since your rehearsals are during my prime work hours, because I work brunch service at a restaurant and rehearsals were like morning to mid-afternoon, I said I need to be compensated. I didn't say I would like to be, I said I need to be. To continue to be part of the show, compensation will be necessary. And even though I was not paid a lot, I was still paid. And also because I was undertaking a little bit more responsibility, I was paid for my work. And that was important to me. And unless you make it clear that you would like to be paid and that you want to be paid and should be paid for the work you are doing, they're not going to think about paying you if it's a primarily, community theater production, and if it's made clear that not all actors are on volunteer basis. Because there's a lot of community theater shows that their actors are only volunteering to be a part of the show. Like, that's the only way it works. There are some shows where cast doesn't get paid, but crew gets paid. And then there is some shows where it's blended. So I auditioned for this company. One of the reasons, it wasn't the only reason. One of the reasons I auditioned for this company was because I knew that they paid their actors and I knew that they paid their performers and I wanted to be paid for my work. And so I made it clear. I asked, I was like, I would like to be compensated. I have to be compensated to continue to be a part of this production. And yeah, I was compensated. And so simply the initiative of making it clear that you deserve to be paid for the work that you're doing. You deserve to be paid for your talent. You deserve to be paid for your time and your energy. By making that clear, you have a higher chance of getting paid. Plain and simple. All right, that's building block number 3. So our fourth building block is your self-worth. I've totally been there. As a newbie, per se, I've been at this for a long time, but as a fresh adult, as a performer still getting into the professional space of performance, it's very easy to think, what if I'm not good enough to be paid? And I want you to stop right there, because you are good enough to get paid. Remember the first building block, which is your craft. You have refined your craft. You know that you're talented. You know that you have something to bring to the table. You know that you are very skilled in what you do. So you are absolutely worthy of getting paid for your work. There are, oh my gosh, y'all, remember Russell Crowe in Les Mis? That man cannot sing. How much money did he make off of that movie? People who are not even like a smidgen as talented as you are getting paid for their work. And so who's to say you can't get paid for your work when you know how talented you are and when you know how worthy you are of getting paid? You have to advocate for yourself. And even if you don't get the role, even if you get a rejection, it doesn't mean you're any less talented. It just means that it's like a puzzle piece. It's a puzzle piece that didn't quite exactly fit. There's a certain vision for a show. If you're a listener of this podcast, I have an episode all about competition in the performing arts. And I talk about how every production, every director has a specific vision for their show, and not all of the time you will fit that vision. That doesn't mean you're any less talented. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of working in this industry. It just means sometimes it's not going to work out. There's this one theater company, and I have done shows with them since I was 15 years old, and I think 3 days ago, I got my first ever rejection from them. And I was like, ugh. I was like a little bit gutted. A little bit. However, I wasn't mad. I'm not upset. I know that I'm a good performer. I know I'm a freaking good singer, and not being invited to be a part of a production, like, it's not the end of the world. It just means that there are better things awaiting for you at the time of that production. Because yeah, this production is in February. Like, I could be like working a gig every single day in February. Like, who freaking knows? And yeah, just because you get rejected, it doesn't mean you lack any talent. And remember that you are allowed to ask about compensation and you are allowed to advocate for yourself. When you make that clear, when you show others that you are interested in getting paid, and when you advocate for yourself, like, that energy, it moves miles. You are literally like such a like magnetic being. People can tell when you advocate for yourself that you care about yourself and that you want to do this. And so it is just so important. Just remember your worth. What I said about other community theaters, like, if you know that other theater productions and other companies pay their actors, you are entirely allowed to ask about compensation and to ask to be compensated. It's possible. Like, it happens all the time. So when you ask about it, like, it doesn't make you weird, doesn't make you greedy. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. And at the end of the day, at the end of the year, once that production is over, that director is probably going to forget that you asked about compensation in the first place. They're like, yep, she's a professional, and so we paid her. Like, they're not going to think you're greedy. Like, how dare she ask to be paid to be a part of this production? It's entirely okay. It's entirely fine. Like, honestly, like, it's not a big deal at all to ask about compensation and to be compensated. That is building block number 4. And to wrap this up with our final building block number 5, it is persistence, my loves. Rejection is part of the work, and it can really get you down sometimes. Like, doing tons of auditions and not getting even a call back. Like, it can be tough, but it is part of the work. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but I'm also like, it's the reality. I've been auditioning for shows since I was 7 years old. Like, I'm aware that auditioning is part of the work. Rejection is part of the work. Like, it's simply not always going to work out. What I like to remember and what I like to remind myself is that just because I don't get in one thing, it means that something else even better is coming my way. And it might even take a long time to realize the effects of that one rejection. When I was 13 years old, there was this theater company who was putting on a production of Matilda the musical. And for any 13-year-old girl, that is a dream. That is like, oh my god, Matilda the musical coming to my city and I can audition for it? Oh my god, absolutely. That was my dream. I wanted to be Matilda so bad. I knew the words to Quiet. I knew the words to Naughty. I knew the words to School Song. I still love School Song. That is such an awesome song. But unfortunately, sadly, I didn't get into that show. I did my callback and things happened, like, I didn't get in. And I was gutted. I was so upset. And so instead of doing that musical, I joined another production company and I did a Christmas show, and I worked with some professionals in the industry. I was not paid. I was 13, but I learned a bit, and I think the greatest thing I got from that was, got to put another show on the resume, got to dance, got to sing. However, one of the music directors of that show was the music director of the Grandstand, and that is who I reached out to about auditioning for 2026. If it weren't for me getting rejected from Matilda the Musical, my absolute dream show as a 13-year-old, I would not have met that music director, and I would not have reached out to him. I would not have known who to reach out to about expressing my interest to perform at this show. And so, yeah, everything happens for a reason. You just gotta keep going. You gotta keep persisting. Not everything is going to work out the way you want it to, but that just means something even better is coming your way. And You just have to also realize and figure out what it is specifically you enjoy doing. Because in 2025, I realized that I don't really like acting. I do not want to memorize a script. I do not want to memorize a monologue. I do not want to be a dramaturge. I don't want to analyze a script. Like, no. That does not appeal to me at all. However, I will learn a million songs. I will analyze a million songs from different musicals, understanding what the lyrics and what the melody and what the backing and instrumentals all mean. I will do that. I will learn opera. I will learn musical theater from all genres and from all eras. I will learn pop. I will learn R&B. I will learn so much music, but I will never memorize another monologue in my life. And even as like a musical theater performer, there are musicals that are fully sung through. Those are the kinds of musicals I would much rather do than have to learn a script. It takes time for you to realize what it is you like to do and what it is you actually want to do, because I realized this at 19 years old. But that's what all the extra experience and what all the extra theater that you've done in your life, that's what it's for. It's to help you narrow down and figure out what it is you actually enjoy doing, so that you can make yourself available and interested and put yourself out there for more experiences that you actually want to do. Yeah, I realized after taking years off of dance, like I stopped doing dance after the pandemic. I took years off of dance. I focused entirely on theater and music and singing in high school, because in theater I was still able to do dance. I did Newsies, like that's a dance show. Like I love to dance, but I realized that I would much rather be a singer and a dancer than a singer, dancer, and actor. I don't want to be an actor. But you have to realize it's persistence and it's experimentation that is going to help you narrow down and realize what it is you want to do, and it's going to make you available for more gigs that you want to do, and then you could be hired for them. Like, that's so awesome. Literally, if I can do this at 19 years old, like, I have full confidence in you that you can also do it. Like, there's this little girl, she's not so little anymore, but I met her when she was 9 years old, and I was 14, and she has auditioned for a Broadway musical when she was like 12. She is on a Netflix show as like the lead voice actor. She is doing a professional production of The Wizard of Oz right now. Like, and she's 14. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm so passionate about this. Like, performing arts is a hard industry to break into. Like, plain and simple. But it is possible. It is entirely possible. You don't have to go to school for it. You just need to refine your craft, create your network, and connect with everybody. Take initiative, know your own fucking self-worth, and then be persistent. Keep training, keep reaching out, keep practicing, keep believing in what you can bring to the table, because you are entirely capable, and you know how fucking talented you are. So I have full belief in you. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Those are my building blocks. I can't believe I've been talking for 40 minutes, but I'm simply just so passionate about the performing arts and about being able to make a name for yourself and get established without having to do the hard things. Well, it's all hard. Life is hard. But you don't have to jump through the hoops that other people are going to tell you to jump through. You don't have to get a degree. If you want to in the future, like, by all means, do it. Like, I think I will go to school eventually, just not right now. And that is okay. You can do it. Oh my God, you can so do it. Yeah, if my 14-year-old friend can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like, it is simply, it's possible. Anything is possible. It's like Whitney Houston said, it's possible. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. It's so possible, and I believe in you, and you fucking got this. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to me yap about theater and about the performing arts. I hope that 2026 is the year you start working professionally as a performer, because, yeah, it's possible. And I love you so much. Thank you for listening to Gap Year Diaries. we are on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And come back next week. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment. Follow us on Instagram at my.gapyeardiaries. Love you. Bye-bye.